Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudírayét. So yesterday we were looking at verse number 66. Which is Nasti buddhira yuktasya nacha yuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayata shantihi ashantasya kutas sukham. For the one who is not tranquil, there is no knowledge. For the one who is not tranquil, there is no contemplation. And for the one who is not contemplative, there is no peace. For the one who has no peace, how can there be happiness? So we saw this verse yesterday. Desires stifle interest in one's self-knowledge. Happiness can only take place in a tranquil mind. So when inner tranquility is there, you require nothing to be happy. So you're living life out of happiness, not for happiness. Whereas if it is not there, happiness cannot even be bought. If you remember our happiness point, happy hour does not buy you happiness. It only robs you of your money. It may be a happy hour for the owner of the bar, but not for anyone else. For both you and your family, it is definitely an unhappy hour. When you cannot stay with yourself, where is the possibility of sukha for you? One has to take care of ragas and dveshas, otherwise they are a nuisance. Therefore, whatever is to be done to take care of them must be done. This may imply karma yoga, listening to the teaching, shravana, or further analysis, manana. How the knowledge takes place, what is required for it to become steady, sthira, and why it can be so unsteady, asthira, is what is being discussed in these verses. So sometime back we wanted a roadmap, and it's now very clearly being laid out, a roadmap for us. Initially on our journey, we were kind of a bit confused, not kind of lost. Where do we begin? But now Krishna is laying out the path. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmanonu tadasya harati prajnam vayurnavamivambhasi. He indeed, charatam of the moving, indriyanam of the senses, yat manaha, that mind which, anuvidhiyate, follows in the wake of, tat that, asya, his, prajnam, knowledge, harati, robs away, vayuhu, the wind, navam, a small boat, iva, just as, ambhasi, on the waters. He charatam indriyanam yat manah anuvidhiyate tat asya prajnam harati vayuhu navam iva ambasi. The mind that follows the moving senses indeed robs the person of his knowledge, just as the wind carries away a small boat on the waters. For the one whose mind is not resolved, and is therefore in the hands of raga dveshas, there is no knowledge. Even if knowledge is there, it is not adequate, as it has already been pointed out. This is because the mind follows, goes behind the moving senses, all of which are engaged in their own spheres of activity. For example, the eyes have their sphere of seeing in forms and colors, and the ears have their sphere in sounds. Thus, you find that each sense organ has its own sphere of activity. As the sense organs experience the objects according to their own spheres, the mind naturally has some fancies that one goes after as they arise. In other words, you go along with the sense cravings. So the senses are only like reporters. They report to the mind. And it is the mind where the fancies take place. So once there is a fancy, once there is that value that you give, there is raga that develops, raga or dvesha, whatever the situation is. And then the mind wants to pursue that. And then each sense organ has its own sphere of activity. So the mind is therefore pulled in 5 different ways. The mind is not together. Rather than becoming antarmukhi, it becomes bahirmukhi. The person being discussed in this verse is one whose mind joins with the sense perceptions, with reference to which there are certain inner cravings or fancies. A mind that joins the senses robs away one's knowledge, the knowledge born of the discriminative inquiry of oneself. This means that whatever self-knowledge one may have had is as good as gone. The mind, meaning the will of such a person, is one that says yes to everything that is not to be done and no to whatever has to be done. A very anti-karma yoga attitude. So it says yes to whatever should not be done, but says no to whatever has to be done. To illustrate this point, Krishna used the example of the wind with its capacity to take a small boat away from its destination. Robbed of self-knowledge, the mind is busy with objects alone. It has no time for self-knowledge. In fact, there is no time for anything because there are so many raga dveshas. Because situations do not happen as you want, there is nothing but concerns, one after the other. First, The pressure of raga dveshas is in the form of undifferentiated concern, and then the concern is in the form of desire, regret, disappointment, sorrow, despair, anxiety, and a constant sense of loss. When the mind is occupied with objects, there is concern, whereas when it is occupied with the self, the Atma, there is no concern, only tranquility. The self will not run away, it stays put. Even if you come back after 20 years, Atma will still be Sat Chit Ananda. Regardless of which book you read, Atma will not grow into Asat Chit Ananda. Atma is always fullness, limitlessness, Ananda. If the object of your knowledge is the Atma, the self, then there is Ananda for you. This is the journey from the head to the heart. So, from the moving objects, bring the mind and let it settle down in the depths of your heart. Contemplate on the Atma, not on the objects out there. Krishna summed up all that he had said with reference to one's knowledge becoming steady in the following verse. I'm just reminded of this beautiful, we've got so many verses thanks to our the teachers of your Pratasmarami hridisam spuradatmatattvam Satchit sukham paramaham sagatim turiyam Yat swapna jagara sushuptamavaiti nityam Tad brahma nishkalamaham nacha bhuta sanghaha. Such a beautiful, it's a 3 stanza prayer about what one needs to remember in the morning when we wake up. It's a morning prayer. When you remember the Atma Tattva that is there in the depths of your heart, that and you remember that you're not Bhuta Sangaha. It is not, you're not the you're not attached to the external world. External world there also includes everything apart from the seer, all that is seen. That includes your body, mind, sense, complex, intellect, ego, memory, all of that. Bhuta Sangaha. It's a beautiful prayer that let me share that in the group. It's wonderful if to either chant or even listen and understand its meaning. So time and again, we will have to bring the mind back again and again. Manaha, from Manaha to Namaha. From Bahirmukhi to Antarmukhi. And to do in the world what is to be done and not what is not to be done. So the will of such a person is that which says yes to everything that is not to be done. Just like how the wind carries away the small boat. Whichever way the wind takes the boat will go. So the world of objects out there is very luring. It lures you. Each of the 5 senses. Some sight to be seen, something to be heard, something to be tasted, something to be experienced as touch. So just imagine the poor plight of the mind. It's torn between these five. Whereas once you collect your mind and you yoke it to the higher, and using your discriminative capacity, you contemplate on the Atma and not the Anatma. And then go about doing what is to be done. Please share your thoughts before we go on to the next verse.
Hari Om Brahmaraji. Here the like prioritizing only that Pratyagatma, and when we are doing the things in the world, in the samsara, just now Swamiji said that we do what is not to be done, and we don't do what is to be done. So is he talking about that we are doing all the Bahya world things, worldly things, and in that also we follow prayers rather than Shreyas, and then we tend to become unhappy when something is fulfilled, or tend to become elated when something is fulfilled. But again, it is not, we are not prioritizing on Pratyagatma, then again that also will lead to the shaken state of mind. Sometimes like a boat which is influenced by the Janjavat or the storm every now and then. So is it that kartum shakya or akartum shakya anyathava kartum shakya? We have to do focus this all by focusing on only the self.
Yeah, that is why
And
Karma
also,
Yoga. That is where Karma
Uh,
Yoga comes in, no?
See, excuse me, Jai Gurudev. Uh, Focusing on the self, okay, that is there. When you do work, be aware of that work. Means, if we are eating, we have to be completely uh, uh, eating the food with awareness. That is the with Sakshi Bhava that I am eating food, and as an Yajna Bhava, as in this one. Anything work when you do with awareness, that itself you are touching with the self. You know, uh, that is the beauty of this being with the self. But what we do is we don't focus. We just do multitasking. While eating, we just talk in that the sex, and we don't know how much we ate, what we ate. That also we don't know. So when we do things with awareness that the the great process, you know, then you are in touch with yourself. Anything you do, it doesn't mean that you stop doing the work and be only with the Atma, with only dhyana. No. When you are doing dhyana also, when you are doing the work, in the world, do completely 100% put that and be aware of doing it. That itself, you are in touch with yourself. That's how uh, going what we call that to be
Pratyagatma.
uh, any work you do, even if you are walking, you're walking, you know it, you are walking. Do 100% walking. In walking also we bring someone and all that, we talk that this, we don't know what how much we walked or how much we ran or whatever it is. This is what ekagrata and sthita. One is sthita in oneself, is this. You have to do the work, we have to do the eating, we have to do this one. It doesn't mean that we while we leave the eating and we just be with the atma. No, when we have a body, we have to safeguard it. So do whatever it is with awareness. Everything with awareness. That is with touching with the self. Jai Guru.
which is true, which is living in the moment. But alongside that, with an attitude of karma yoga. So, awareness, yes, you can be very aware and live, very mindful. But if there is no attitude of bhakti there is no yajna bhava, you will still be aware, mindful, but you might get tossed and turned over by the outcome. And therefore, there is this attitude of karma yoga. That is why we have the happiness point. We also have accept people and situations as they are. Do not be a football of others' opinion. We could have just had the happiness point. We could have just said, live in the present, not in the past, future. But alongside that, there are these accompanying points as well, which is what completes karma yoga. Understanding that opposite values are complementary. Not see intention behind others' mistakes. So these are all the aspects of our mind that we have to cultivate, which will fructify that karma yoga attitude. And then living out of joy, not for joy.
And also, Gurudev pointed out in his recent visit about the intentions. If the intentions are pure, then it will be reflected in your actions, right?
Yeah,
So and that happens only when your antakarana is shuddha without raga dvesha.
correct.
Otherwise, again, you will follow your mana
The
and then you
film,
will run
yeah, of
after
course,
the I, me, myself only.
of course.
Mhm.
Awareness is a very important thing for you to remember all that you've studied, because otherwise, if it can get carried away in a moment, in a jiffy,
Yeah.
even for a one who is well versed in the Vedas, well versed in this knowledge. Even, I mean, that mind is so chanchal that a strong wind can just carry it away. So
Hmm.
being aware is very paramount. But alongside that, cultivating this discrimination. That is why we have 4 pillars of knowledge. It's not just one pillar of knowledge. The 4 pillars of knowledge are Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi, Shat Sampatti, and Mumukshutva. And a karma yogi is a mumukshu. And therefore, you're automatically prioritizing. Once you're living a life of karma yoga, you are no longer using the film of raga dveshas to decide what is to be done. What is to be done is already there. Use your discretion in action to decide what is to be done. That is the discretion. Yoga karmasu kaushalam.
Samatvam also, right?
And then samatva. And samatva again is not simple samatva. Out of awareness, you can just be simple samatva, but this is recognizing Ishvara. So taking it as prasada.
Very beautiful.
That is why the importance given to that, because the karma yogi is not just following uh, the attitude. Alongside that, he is also pursuing self-knowledge. That is the ultimate thing. So it is side by side, like the two wings of a bird. It requires both the wings to fly. So you need the attitude of karma yoga when you're dealing with the world of objects, when you're out there, the pravritti. That is the pravritti marga. And then nivritti is you're attaching yourself, you're connecting yourself to the pratyagat. That is, you're saying neti, neti. I am not this, I'm not that. At the seat of contemplation, you're doing that. So when you're at the seat of contemplation, when you're meditating, that the connect with the Atma, that Sakshi Bhav, becomes stronger and stronger. That is why meditation is the key. So once that Sakshi Bhav is so strong, not just at the time when you meditate, but it spills over into your activity as well, then you're doing it, but you're doing it with that diluted sense of doership. Doership is there as a faint doership, but then it's diluted. It's not strong. It's not solidified doership. And therefore, you're able to take whatever outcome also. The bhoktritva is also diluted. So you're not tossed and turned over with the outcome of your actions. So therefore, the hold of raga dveshas again is getting more and more dilute. So it's a beautiful equation there. Raga dveshas neutralized develops tranquility of the mind. The more and more tranquil your mind is, the less and less raga dveshas affect you. They get more and more neutralized. And then that self-knowledge becomes sthira.
Even that nishtha comes then
Yeah.
along with that. And you become that, you can assimilate that knowledge into your daily life.
Yeah. Which is why Krishna gives that answer when Arjuna asks him in the 6th chapter, Chanchalam himanah Krishna, balavadridam. It is so difficult to control the mind. How do we get out of this? Then Krishna says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena cha dushkritam. So it is with abhyasa. And this is the prayatna, this is the purushartha that we do. Proper use of our free will. We have only this life in the current body, whatever, how many ever years of life we have. So how do we want to live our life? How do we want to use our purushartha, the free will? Do we want to just be carried away by our whims and fancies, like the wind carries away the mind? Or do we want to stay committed, that discipline and commit with that sense of commitment? This is where the sadhana panchakam comes in. The beautiful 5 verses that Adi Shankara has given for sadhaks. He's laid it out. He's laid it out so beautifully in those, I think, um, 40 different ways that we need to. He started off with Vedam, Vedas, Abhidhiyatam. Every day, study the Veda. He started off with that. Veda nitya vidhiyatam taduditam karma swanushtiyata. It's very nice to recollect these and thank God for all of this. See, it's only because of Shravana that this thing, it remains in the, you're even getting that idea, the concept. Without Shravana, nothing happens. It just doesn't sprout up like that. Not just Shravana, along with Shravana, a bit of Manana. Remembering it, analyzing it, understanding it. And then finally, Nididhyasana. And for that contemplation to be uninterrupted without any obstacle, ragadveshas need to be neutralized. Antakarana Shuddhi and Naischalya. So, regardless of which book you read, Atma will not grow into Asat Chit Ananda. The self will not run away, it stays put. It is like coming home. You may have gone everywhere, but when you come home, you feel so at peace. You're so comforted when you reach home. Similarly, the Atma is there, that source, coming back to the source again and again. तस्माद्यस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Tasmat, therefore, Mahabaho. O mighty armed Arjuna, Yasya, whose Indriyani, senses, Indriyaha Artebhyaha, from sense objects, Sarvashaha, completely, Nigrihitani, are withdrawn, mastered, Tasya, his Prajna, knowledge, Pratishtita, is steady. Therefore, that is Tasmat Mahabaho Yasya Indriyani Indriyaha Artebhyaha Sarvashaha Nigrihitani Tasya Prajna Pratishtita. Therefore, O mighty armed Arjuna, the knowledge of one whose senses are completely withdrawn, mastered from their respective objects is steady. The word tasmat indicates that Krishna was summing up this section, dealing with description of the mind of a person who has some vision and is making an effort to make his or her knowledge steady. He explained that because the senses are turbulent, they could rob away the mind of such a person. How they do this was also discussed. So he's talking about sadhaks over here. How the mind of a sadhak, knowledge of the sadhak becomes steady. Krishna addressed Arjuna here as Mahabaho, meaning, "O mighty armed Arjuna." One may be mighty armed with reference to one's prowess and skill, but what is needed for self-knowledge is to be mighty armed, that is, strong in the mind, which is more difficult. The prowess and skills that Arjuna had gathered to earn him the name mighty armed were great in their own sphere, in that he was able to control all external enemies. But his ability to control this inner one was the issue here. To control the senses, to withdraw them from their respective objects, means to be able to withdraw them at will. Just as the turtle withdraws its head and limbs into its shell whenever it senses any danger. If you want to release the senses, release them. If you want to withdraw them, withdraw them. This means that the senses are under your control. Only when you have the capacity to withdraw your senses at will can your knowledge be steady. The idea here is that the knowledge becomes steady only when the mind is freed from the pressure of raga and dvesha. To the extent that you master your likes and dislikes, to that extent your knowledge stays. Because your raga dveshas are neutralized, you can enjoy the benefits of your knowledge. The pressure of raga dveshas being less, the benefits of the knowledge are more. The knowledge is complete when the raga dveshas have no say in your life, when they are all neutralized, when it makes no difference to you whether a desire is fulfilled or not. Only then is there no hindrance to self-knowledge. So, coming to a sense of total dispassion, vairagya, there it does not really matter. Raga dveshas have no say in your life. See, they go hand in hand, no? Neutralizing raga dveshas and that nishta in self-knowledge. Even the benefits of knowledge, self-knowledge. Isn't that true? Isn't that our experience? When you have used,
Yes. Yeah, please go ahead, Brahmaraji.
when you are not swayed by raga dveshas, whatever is the outcome, you have taken it as prasada. The benefits of all those knowledge, the knowledge points, you derive it immediately. It is not later, it is not one day later that you feel content. That happiness, it just swells up from within. Nothing can rob you when you're centered. The benefits of the knowledge. What is the knowledge telling? And the knowledge is nothing but saying you are the pratyagatma. So you're one in one piece. You're not pieces of mind, but you have that peace of mind. Peace. Yeah, but you want to share something?
No, that's such a beautiful uh, statement. Very nice. That you will not be fragmented. That real peace with prasanna chitta.
Jai Gurudev, I have something to share. That samatvam is a wonderful this one. That is the first thing Sthitat Prajna to have. Once we know that the Atma is same in everyone, that is the Samatvam Bhava. Whether it is uh, stone, gold, even the dog or whatever it is. So for that, even when we see the persons, we have to have some any do's and do nots like that, you know. So we say that do not judge anyone. That's what Guruji also says, no? We have to think it as if they are dolls and cover the face, you know. That's what. For that, do not label anybody bad. That's one thing. Anybody, we need not have to say bad. Do not label them as bad. Second one, do not do any bad to anybody. The third one is, do not wish bad to anyone. See, do not label anybody bad. That's one thing. Do not do any bad to anybody, whatever. Or do not wish bad to anybody, even wishing also in the mind. See good only, don't see the bad. Means the flies, they go to the even the bad this one, and they will fly here and there go. So we should see only the good, and we should not see the bad. And do not hear bad about others. When a question was asked to Guruji, Guruji, we are all very good in when we come to the ashram and do the silence course and all that, this, to keep the same peace of mind when we go to the home or to this one, it just flies out what to do. And simple answer Guruji gave is, do not gossip. This is very, 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 very good. Gossip means what? We meet anyone and we talk about others, whether good or bad, whatever it is. And many times it is bad only. Oh, he did that way, this, that, this, that. And even when we open the TV, we see that only negative things. So we should not hear bad about others. This is most important. And do not talk anything bad about others. We should not hear bad things about others, and even should not talk anything bad of others. These points, if we maintain, then that samatva bhava automatically comes. We have to always, that Guruji's one sentence gossip is such a profound, such a profound, just one answer, but it's a really, really very, very good thing. We have to dissect it. What is gossip? So we should not label anybody. We say when we see any person, oh, this man, and we know everything about his bad. he did like that, he did like that. Don't put any record of anybody's character or whatever it is in your mind. Oh, that time he gave me this one, he told me that, and this. So we have that memory. Forget about it. Forget about it. Just leave it. This for rowdies, the police keeps record. And we keep record of everybody's. He told like that, he told like this, he told like this, to me like that, and this. Like police keeping the record of the rowdies. They keep a sheet. Therefore, they called rowdy sheeter because they keep a sheet. And we keep record of everyone in our memory. That has to go. And we label this fellow is like that. That's so really, really, we have to start doing that. Not to remember anything or keep record of his character, good or bad, whatever it is. Whenever he comes, we will see all the record of his bad. So then label him. This is very, 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 very good. So we have to start there scratching. Do not label anybody. So it's like a cover the face. So we will not remember at all. That is what Brahma says, no? Guruji says, she repeated it, that cover the face. So we will not remember that whatever, who is he, what is that, or anything. So we will not label. And do not do any bad to anybody. If you start one bad things, it will again, it will hurt you, it will hurt them, it will hurt everyone. That will pull will come. So do not do any bad to anyone. Do not wish bad thing to anyone. Bless them. That is what blessing course says. Do not wish bad to anyone, even in the mind. Only in the mind I'm talking about, not this one. Oh, he did that way. Simply, it comes in. That has to be avoided. And see only the good one. That's what we do in advanced course. We praise, we uplift. And the last one, the last two is don't hear bad things about others and do not talk anything bad of others. These are, I thought, to put, these are the steps we have to follow. Then that samatvam will reside in you. That is very, very important for Sthitaprat. To become samatvan is to be samadhana. They have to be very, very, very samadhana. I was just doing Manana, then I thought of doing this. I had heard about this in one lecture or something, and I noted it down because Sthitaprajna is samatvam. First is the samatvam. Labha, labho, this all. But how to put it in action? I thought these things, and that Guruji's word, gossip. Don't do gossip. To be at peace in the mind when you are in the world, avoid gossip. Therefore, we do manana, we do mantra japa and all that, so that we avoid that. Slowly, we have to cultivate this. with all the karma yoga, whatever we are doing. Karma yoga is samatvam only. Jai Gurudev. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Sureshji. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on this.
No, I
While
thought how
while it
to.
is important, yeah, while
Mm,
it's important to uh, not remember anything bad, that is, but then we need to use the past, just like how like Gurudev says, when you're driving, from time to time, you have to look at the rear view mirror when you're driving forward. You cannot only look forward and drive.
no,
You have
that needs skill. That
that
needs skill.
requires, that is the
That's
discretion,
what
right? So you need to use your
discretion. Yes.
viveka. It is not just blindly not doing not doing bad or not remembering things. There is an element of viveka there. That is, it is not how do we put it? You will have to use your discrimination. When you know that you put your finger, it's the memory of uh, the experience that if you put your finger in fire, it'll get burnt. You will not keep doing it again and again. Similarly, in the Sadhana Panchakam, it is mentioned, stay away from um, dush, dussanga, keep away
Yeah.
from. So, unless you have that discrimination of this is right and wrong, dharma is there, you will not be able to do that. So, there is a role that the memory has. There's a role for your uh, for the intellect. So, making proper use of your memory.
Yeah. No, what
So that
happens? No, it takes over your memory. It takes over your everything. When you memorize too much, when we are in that,
correct. So that
that
is
is
why
what I'm.
correct. What you've said is
Mhm.
really beautiful.
Mhm.
That is why
Mhm.
you meditate not on that gossip you're talking about, is where you start meditating on the outside, on the features of a person, characteristics, his or her mannerisms. The mind is so occupied in meditating about the external. So that is where you withdraw it and then you start meditating on the pratyagatma. See, this is all requires skill, no? The discrimination and discretion in action is so important. How to act, how much, when to withdraw. This is what is mentioned here is if the person's senses are in his control, he, when the turtle wants, it lets its feet out. When it wants, it withdraws its feet. You have that sense of control over your senses. You are not taken for a ride by the senses like the boat is taken away by the wind. That is living a life which is rudderless. You don't have any direction. Whichever way the wind takes, you go. Caught up in the senses. That is a completely preyas. Whereas when your focus is shreyas, when your priority is shreyas, then there is some direction. It's like you're giving a bank to that river, which is going in spate, like it's flooded everywhere. But when you bring in that sense of commitment, when you bring in that discrimination and dispassion, then your life starts getting some more meaning. Yeah.
Yeah, like there is always something is good, something can be bad, then is some sorry. It's about how we take
Yeah.
good things and then leave the bad out, like that can be, but you can't always ignore them in terms of if something happened to you, or that then had to be uh, addressed properly, in the sense uh, we can't ignore certain things, if something bad happening in front of you, right? I mean, I know you're not talking about bad about others and that kind of thing. I understand, but
But
I'm
it is
getting
active acceptance. It is not passive acceptance.
right.
Like
Like when
Krishna
you
can tell Arjuna, don't kill. If you
right,
look at killing as an action, it is it if you you're destroying the life of a person.
yeah, all these 5 points that you're also saying, right?
Yeah.
Accept things as they are. Yeah, you can accept it, but if something is not right, I mean, not dharmic, you can accept dharmic things as it is, so we have
Do not
to,
be
yeah,
followed of
we
others'
have to,
opinion.
right. But what I'm trying to say is, like, in terms of all of these points, also we have to be mindful about how we doing it. um, I understand, like we are talking about it, and that really lot of good points that you brought up, Sureshji. That thank you. Um, I also felt, when we uh, there are things that happens, you don't like it. You have to express sometimes. You don't have to be taking all of that all the time.
There is a beautiful knowledge point that Gurudev says,
Mm-hmm.
you what you're outside, what you're inside
Mm-hmm.
need not necessarily be what is outside. And I will share that knowledge sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I happened to come across that last
Oh,
week. So
very nice. Mm-hmm.
you keep the dispassion in your heart. You don't need to wear it on your shoulder, on your sleeve. So when you're working, functioning in the world, you have to be a normal, natural person and do what is to be done. If there is something not right happening, you pretty well voice it. It it doesn't mean you're passively submissive and you're taking everything. You become a doormat. You want to do only good. You don't want to displease anyone. You'll only become a pleasing person, wanting to please everyone. That's not the intent. The intention is to live rightfully, live on the right side of dharma. At the same time, when something not right is happening, unless you voice it and then leave it, educate and ignore. So Gurudev has given us so many gems. I mean, we just need to use them, utilize them correctly. One is understanding, and the second is to put them to use correctly. Otherwise, Krishna would have not asked Arjuna to fight.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
The very
I
fact
know.
that Krishna has asked Arjuna to fight
Yeah.
not mean he said, "Oh Arjuna, we do good all the time. Yes, don't kill. So you can go to Rishikesh." This is not what Krishna's advice was. He said, "There is some adharma happening. As a kshatriya, your dharma is to protect, protect dharma. For that, you pretty well have to kill. You will kill." He told him out of that understanding, "You are not the one killing. They're already killed. What is jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuh, dhruvam janma mritasya cha." So whatever is born will always die. That change you cannot do anything. So why are you grieving? So all this he gave him self-knowledge. And then he tells him, go and fight. So as understanding what our swakarma is, what is our swadharma and swakarma becomes very important. And that changes that according to the situation, it your roles and responsibilities are in a flux. They're not rigid. So that is where that discretion comes in. Viveka and discretion comes in. So karma yoga is as three aspects. One is samatva. Samatva, like what Sureshji said, is having that samatva bhavana with respect to everyone, seeing everything as one. But samatva that is mentioned in in our in the shloka karmanyevadikaraste, that samatva is with respect to the outcome of your actions. And then
equanimous.
being equanimous, yes.
Yeah, equanimous with this good or bad, you take it.
Not
The
being a
other,
yogi.
yeah.
And the other one is yoga karma sukaushalam,
Mm,
discretion in action.
right.
Being on the right side of law, dharmic. Like that example Gurudev Swamiji gives about the person wanting to rob his neighbor's wealth.
Neighbors, right? Yeah.
Done everything very skillfully, but he was not practicing yoga karma sukaushalam.
Mm-hmm.
If he was doing that, he would not even covet his friend's money. He would be happy with what he has had. And then is um, disassociation from the association with me.
Mm.
3 aspects of karma yoga. Yeah, we had good discussion today. So we'll continue with knowledge and mastery of the mind go hand in hand. Tomorrow and day after, I would want some help with reading. Just let me know who is able to do it. You can put up in the group, no problem.
Maybe I can do tomorrow, but Wednesday I have another class.
No problem. We'll find
Yeah.
someone to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Meditation is accepting this moment, living every moment totally with depth. Let us keep our spine erect and body relaxed and eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Keep a big smile on your face. You're sitting like the statue of Buddha, very serene and with a serene smile on your face. Relax your body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your chest region, throat and chest region. If you notice some tension in the body, just let it be. Accept those parts of the body where you feel a tension The other parts are in comfort. Other parts are at peace. Become aware of that also. There are many good things about you and inside of you. Acknowledge them. They will never leave you. And the negative aspect you may see in you is never going to stay with you forever. They are all guests for some time. Let them be. Sit with the total acceptance of yourself the way you are at this very moment. Total acceptance of what is now here will lead us to deeper meditation. Let go of all the effort. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let go of all your effort and be in this emptiness. And slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. And you may gently open